I transmigrated into an 800-pound woman. She took advantage of her dad being the chief, and even forced 5 super handsome beast husbands on herself. So every one of her beast husbands hated her guts. They wouldn't even touch her at all. But the woman wouldn't give up. To spend the night with one of them, she secretly slipped aphrodisiac perfume into his food. At the same time, she downed 500 aphrodisiac pills herself, hoping it would spark a flame of passion between them. But right after she pinned the husband onto the bed, the excessive dosage of the drug suddenly backfired and poisoned her to death. I snapped my eyes open, breathing heavily. Then I felt my body all over. Wasn't I swallowed by a zombie horde in the apocalypse? How did I end up here? Before I could process what was happening, a man with flushed cheeks and misty eyes lunged straight at me. My heart skipped a beat in panic. I instinctively tapped into the remaining power in my body and kicked the man hard in his private parts. The man stumbled and fell to the ground. A flash of shock crossed his eyes, which was quickly replaced by lust right after. He struggled to get back on his feet. I was scared out of my wits. There was no way I'd stay there any longer. I scrambled out of the room as fast as I could. Oh my god. That was so terrifying just now. I almost got assaulted by a beastman. Wait, beastman? Right at that moment, a sharp headache hit me. Countless foreign memories flooded into my mind. After going through all the memories, I instantly felt like I'd eaten a pile of crap. The original owner was also named Lu Ming, daughter of Lu Xiao, chief of the Flaming Sand Oasis. She was lazy and gluttonous, and had a vicious personality. She was extremely ugly, and always reeked of a weird odor. Taking advantage of her father's power, she forced Lu Xiao to arrange 5 top talents from the western regions as her beast husbands, but none of the 5 beast husbands liked her at all. They avoided her like the plague. This is such a mess. Forced relationships never work out. I'll find a chance later to call off the partner bond with them. First, I need to check if my powers are still intact. I awakened wood-type abilities in my past life. If I still have them, I can protect myself in this strange beast world. Before I could try using them, I saw an extremely huge black python slither past in front of me. When the giant python saw me, a hint of human-like disgust flashed in its eyes. The next second, the python shifted into a tall man and walked off into the distance. I stared at his human-shaped back with a complicated expression. Is this Ling Jin? That super mysterious second male lead? He is really handsome, though. Just a little too cold. I quickly snapped back to my senses, closed my eyes and tried to connect with the plants around me. A tiny green vine popped out of my palm moments later. Thank God my powers are still there. I breathed a sigh of relief. I walked to the nearby river to wash my face. But when I saw my reflection in the water, I almost retched right there. Oh my God, is this me? The woman in the water was so fat she had no visible neck. Her face was covered in dense pockmarks. Her hair was stuck to her cheeks, and a nasty smell was coming off her body. This is way too ugly. I almost had a mental breakdown. I wasn't drop-dead gorgeous in my past life, but I was still pretty and cute. When have I ever been this ugly? Forget men with how ugly I look. Even I'm disgusted with myself. No way. I have to wash myself properly. I held back my disgust, squatted by the river, and started washing my hair. But my hair was way too dirty. I washed it several times. The water turned completely black, but it was still all greasy. I wish I had some shampoo. This crappy hair is impossible to fix. Super Invincible Charm System activated. Host to Luming. Welcome to the Beast World. I'm Jiang, your system. I froze for a second. Then my eyes lit up with wild joy. System cheat. But what the hell is a Super Invincible Charm System? What does it do? I named it myself, you know. Doesn't it sound great? No it doesn't. And what exactly can this cheat do for me? This system is designed to help the host improve your looks, figure, and charm, and romance the 5 designated beast husbands. Interact with the beast husbands to increase favorability. The higher the favorability, the richer the rewards. Rewards? What kind of rewards? My eyes lit up immediately. Right now, what I need most is to get prettier and skinnier, plus survival supplies. Unexpectedly, the system instantly conjured up a small cart and slowly pushed it right past my face. Beauty pills. Weight loss potions. Daily necessities. Hey, excuse me, move your feet a little, will ya? The thing you wanted just now, host. Shampoo is also included in the rewards. I rolled my eyes speechlessly. How come a system like you has so much drama? I've been waiting for you for ages, host. Do you have any idea how lonely I've been all by myself? I raised an eyebrow. I thought to myself, fine, I'll do the strategy thing. I have to interact with them anyway to cut ties, right? Might as well get some rewards along the way. So what's their current favorability level towards me, the 5 of them? The system went silent for a second, then answered honestly, all 5 of your beast husbands have a favorability rating of below 90 towards you. After hearing the system's reply, my mouth twitched violently. Sigh. They hate me that much? The original owner must have pissed them off real bad, huh? The system noticed my hesitation and hurried to comfort me. Don't worry, host. I'll assist you the whole time. The newbie gift pack has been sent out. Please check it. 3 items popped up right in front of my eyes instantly. They were shampoo, body wash, and facial cleanser. When I saw these 3 items, I couldn't help but get excited. This is literally exactly what I wanted most right now. I gritted my teeth right away. Fine, for the sake of this newbie gift pack. I'll give it a shot. Oh, right. Is there a time limit? Or do I get electrocuted or something if I fail? Don't worry, host. There's no time limit for the mission. Besides, we're super user-friendly. There's no penalty even if you can't finish it. That's a relief. If you need my help, just yell Zhang out loud, okay? Bye-bye, host. With that, the system disappeared right in front of me. I quickly grabbed the shampoo and went back to the river to wash up again. This time my hair was finally clean. I also scrubbed off a lot of dirt from my body. Even though I'm still fat and ugly, at least I'm a lot cleaner now. I felt like I was alive again. My mood even got a whole lot better too. Just when I was about to get out of the water, I suddenly heard a splash behind me. A leopard was thrown into the stream. I got a huge fright. I turned around to look and saw a tall, muscular man in dark green, exotic-style tight clothing standing on the bank. He had a cold, sharp face. It was Lin Jin. Lin Jin stood on the bank with a shocked look on his face. He obviously didn't expect to see me here. I didn't expect to run into Lin Jin here either. I squatted down instinctively, hiding my body under the water, only my head sticking out. My face turned bright red. Lin Jin probably thinks I waited here on purpose this time. To try and seduce him, right? After all, the original owner did all kinds of crazy stuff. Just to sleep with her beast husbands. And that's exactly what Lin Jin was thinking. The look he gave me was full of disgust. This woman is getting more and more shameless. Just to get my attention. She'd even use such a cheap, disgusting trick. It's sickening. Get out of here right now. His cold voice sounded like the dead of winter. I was furious when I heard that. I'm the one who got violated here. Why is he acting like he's the victim? Even though this man is the mission target I need to win over. I'm not going to put up with his shitty attitude. Lin Jin, be reasonable. Do you own this river or something? You can come here, but I can't. I'm taking a bath here. You burst in out of nowhere and saw me completely naked. You don't even apologize. And you even accuse me of seducing you. Who do you think you are? Lin Jin was stunned. He'd never seen Lu Ming act like this before. Before, whenever she saw him, she would just rush over with a lovesick look on her face, fawning all over him pathetically. How dare she talk back to him today? He opened his mouth, but couldn't think of a retort for a second. He could only grit out coldly. I didn't know you were here? With that, he turned around and dragged the leopard away. I rolled my eyes as I watched his back leave. What a jerk. Total narcissist. When I packed up my stuff and was about to leave, my stomach growled at the worst possible moment. I focused my mind. A green vine shot out from my palm and precisely wrapped around a big fish in the stream. I gave it a gentle tug and flung the fish right onto the bank. I looked at the big fish flopping on the ground. I smiled in satisfaction. Not bad. The skill still works like a charm. When I got back to the oasis holding the big fish, it was already dark. The bonfire on the central sand ground was blazing brightly. The clanspeople sat around roasting meat. Laughter and chatter filled the air. I just walked over there. A woman in gorgeous clothes, with a pretty face, stepped up to stop me. It's Ziyue. She's the most beautiful woman in the tribe, who has 7 beast husbands, but she's not satisfied at all. She also wants the original owner's beast husbands. So she hates the original owner's guts. and picks on her every now and then, looming. The thing about you slipping Xingmo the love potion yesterday, the entire oasis knows about it. Xiu deliberately raised her voice, drawing the attention of everyone around. Why don't you take a good look at yourself first? You're ugly and fat. There's no way Xingmo would ever like you. And you used such a dirty trick. That's so disgusting. Xiu spoke really loudly. Everyone nearby heard her. And all turned to look at me, their faces full of disgust. But I looked completely calm and stared at Xiu calmly. What I do is none of your business. You don't get to boss me around here. Xiu was too angry to say a word. She glanced at the fish in my hand and started mocking again. You're so useless. As a noble lady of the oasis, you actually have to find food yourself. If I were you, I'd have killed myself out of shame a long time ago. The sound of laughter got even louder. Right at this moment, a gentle figure walked over, holding a piece of roasted lean meat out to me. It's Yuichi. His real form is a 9-tailed red fox. He has an androgynous look, and he's the most responsible of my 5 beast husbands. Even though he hates the original owner, he never cut off her food supply. The original owner weighed 750 jin, and he was partially responsible for that. His voice was gentle, but his expression was still cold and distant. Take it. Everyone present was stunned by this scene, including Ziyue. She looked at Yuichi in disbelief and couldn't understand his behavior at all. Didn't he hate Looming too? But then she thought about it. The meat Looming usually eats is all given by Yuichi. Thank you, Yuichi. A flash of surprise crossed Yuichi's eyes. This is the first time Looming has ever thanked him. He didn't think too much about it and dropped a line coldly. I just don't want people to get the wrong idea that I can't even support a woman. Then he turned around and left. Xiu watched this scene, her face pale with anger. She was just about to speak when several pieces of roasted meat and fruit flew from different directions and landed with a plop at my feet. Just like throwing trash, I looked up and saw Lin Jinfeng, Ye Chen, and the other 2 sitting not far away. Their faces cold, and Jingmo, the man I kicked in the crotch, was sitting alone by the bonfire roasting meat, his expression calm, as if what happened yesterday never took place. Ziyue watched all this. The jealousy in her eyes was almost impossible to hide. She mocked in a cold voice. It's just charity. What's there to be proud of? I stared at her coldly and said nothing. Throwing the meat over like trash is exactly how you treat a beggar. I really wanted to throw the meat right back in those men's faces. But having survived the apocalypse, I know exactly how precious food is. I figured it'd be stupid to turn down free food. I was just about to bend down to pick up the meat on the ground when an angry voice sounded next to my ear. Don't pick it up. It was Lu Yuan, the original owner's older brother. Lu Yuan is also very strong in the oasis, second only to her 5 beast husbands. He looked up and glared at Xingmo, who was casually roasting meat. Xingmo, Looming is your woman, and you won't even give her food? A mocking smile curled up on Xingmo's lips. His gaze immediately fell on Looming, the disgust on his face obvious. Look at her size. She's as ugly as a fat pig. Starving her a little will help her lose weight, saves food from going to waste. He burst out laughing right after saying that. Roars of laughter from around erupted again. My cheeks burned slightly. It wasn't out of shyness. I was furious, and I glowered hard at Xingmo. I cursed silently in my head. That total jerk. His mouth is so vicious. Just you wait. I'll make him beg on his knees sooner or later. Lu Wen was just about to retort when I tugged at the corner of his shirt. I said in a low voice, Brother, I'm not eating anymore. Lu Yuan looked at me confusedly. The old Lu Ming would never skip barbecue. He'd even fight over fruits and melons. Yet today he volunteered to stop eating. He gave me a confused look and patted my head. Come find me if you get hungry, okay? He turned around and left after saying that. I looked down at the fat on my body. I gritted my teeth. I have to lose weight no matter what. When I get thin and pretty, I'll blow their damn minds. I turned around and headed to my room. I'd only taken a few steps when I felt an icy cold gaze land on me. I turned around to look, and it was Lin Jin. He'd followed me over at some point. He stared at me with a complicated expression in his eyes. Is something wrong? Lin Jin spoke up, his voice still cold as ice. What did you mean by those words? You said by the river today. I blinked, looking totally confused. I said a lot of things by the river today. Which one is he talking about? What words? I don't remember. Linjin said each word slowly and deliberately. You said, this riverbank belongs to my family. You can come here, but I can't. I was so speechless. I had no idea this guy would fixate on that line. Oh, that was just a random thing I said. No other meaning behind it. Please don't take it to heart. Linjin was silent for a few moments, then threw out a line. Stop trying to seduce me like this ever again. He turned and left immediately after saying that. I was left speechless all over again. Seduce him? When did I ever try to seduce him? I was clearly taking a bath back then. He was the one who barged in out of nowhere, okay? I curled my lip secretly. What a delusional, overconfident creep. After cursing him out, I turned and went back to my room. Xingmo just happened to be passing by and heard that last line I said, delusional, overconfident creep. He watched my retreating back, a playful smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. This woman seems a little different now. I went back to my room and was instantly stunned by what I saw. The room was piled full of clothes and food scraps, reeking of a terrible stench. It was literally a garbage dump. The original owner was so disgustingly messy, I shook my head helplessly and started tidying up the room. I threw all the garbage outside, piled the dirty clothes by the door, planning to wash them by the river tomorrow. After all that work, the room felt a lot more spacious, but there wasn't even a quilt on the bed. I'd definitely freeze my ass off at night, so I had to go to my brother's room to borrow a quilt. I made the bed and laid down on it. After being busy all day, my stomach started growling again. I stared at the fruits and dried nuts on the table and swallowed hard. Can't eat. If I eat more, I'll definitely get super fat. I started hyping myself up like crazy to distract myself. I activated my wood-type ability, trying to detox and lose weight. Even though my ability dropped to level 1, simple detoxing is still doable. A moment later, a faint green glow covered my body. A layer of sticky, gross gunk seeped out of my skin, reeking horribly. I was so grossed out. I immediately ran out of my room. I even remembered to bring my body wash with me. The Western region nights are super lively. The sounds make your heart race. I sped up and ran to the river. I washed myself 3 whole times before I got all the gunk off my body. I was just about to get up and leave when I heard splashing from upstream. I looked over curiously, and in that one glance, I froze on the spot. In the moonlight, a man was standing in the river bathing. Shirtless, his fair, smooth skin glows alluringly under the moonlight. His figure is absolutely perfect. I swallow hard. Look at those broad shoulders and that tiny waist. And those long legs? He's literally perfect. My eyes automatically dart down to his lower body. Too bad it's covered by the river water. I lift my gaze and land it on the man's face. I recognize him immediately. Isn't that Ye Chen, the original body's 5th beast husband? I'm startled right away. I quickly look away. I turn around to run, but the next second, my body suddenly freezes on the spot. Lu Ning, you've got some real guts. How dare you peep at me taking a shower? As soon as he finishes speaking, the man stands up from the river and strides towards me. I don't even think about it. I turn and run as fast as I can. Are you kidding? If I don't run now, when will I? This jerk actually hits people for real. This guy is so dramatic. He's the one who came to the river to bathe, and now he's blaming me for peeking. It's not like he loses a piece of flesh from me looking. He's so freaking stingy. Ye Chen watches the woman running away. His face darkens. Last time Lu Ming snuck up on him, he beat him up real bad. Who knew she'd come peep at him bathing this time? She really never learns her lesson. I run all the way back to my room in one breath. When I see Ye Chen didn't chase after me, I quietly let out a sigh of relief. I lie on the bed thinking about what just happened. Ye Chen's incredibly fit body. I can't help but swallow hard again. I gotta say, this is the best figure I've seen since I came to this beast world. Too bad he hates me with a passion. And he's super hard to win over. I let out a sigh. I might as well wash up and sleep. As for the strategy stuff, I'll figure it out later. I was just about to close my eyes and sleep when the system's voice suddenly pops up in my head. Host Xingmo and Ye Chen's favorability each increased by 10 points. What? Xingmo's favorability went up. And Ye Chen too. I just accidentally took one peek, and his favorability went up too. Does that bastard Xingmo have a masochistic kink or something? Yesterday I drugged him. And kicked him too. And his favorability still went up. And Ye Chen too. Who knew that accidentally peeking at his bath would make his favorability towards me go up? Sigh. Guys are so confusing, I swear. I didn't think too much about it. I fell asleep before I knew it. Right now, Ye Chen is heading back to his own room. Halfway there, he catches sight of my room. For no particular reason, he turns and walks towards it instead. Just as he gets to the door, he sees a pile of moldy clothes sitting off to the side. He gets pissed off immediately. He lifts his foot and walks into the room, obviously wanting to teach me a lesson. But after he goes in, what he sees inside shocks him. The room is super clean and tidy. It's nothing like the garbage dump it used to be. It was obviously tidied carefully. I'm lying in the middle of the bed, curled up asleep. I actually look a little pitiful. Ye Chen laughs to himself internally. She deserves to look pitiful. She ruined the perfectly good quilt. If she freezes to death, it's her own fault. He was going to turn around and leave. But his gaze falls on Lu Ning's ugly face. He stops in his tracks again. For some reason, he feels like her face isn't that ugly anymore. He must be crazy. To think she's not ugly. Half asleep, I feel someone standing in front of me. I open my eyes and see Ye Chen staring at me weirdly. I get a huge fright. I thought this man chased me here. To beat me up. I quickly explain. I really didn't mean to peep at you bathing. I just went to the river to wash my face. I had no idea you were bathing there. Ye Chen's face gradually darkens. Luckily, he doesn't hit me in the end. He just says it better be, then turns around and leaves the room, looking at the man's leaving back. I quietly let out a sigh of relief. Jerk. Tomorrow, I'm definitely finding a way to lock my room up tight. Then I yawn and fall back asleep again. But I didn't sleep very well that night. I tossed and turned and couldn't fall asleep at all. The next morning, I just got up from the bed, when the system's voice rang in my head again. Host. Congrats, your weight loss has shown initial results. Ye Chen's favorability towards you increases by 20 points. You're rewarded with a weight loss pill and a whitening pill. That's awesome. I was over the moon. I immediately grabbed a mirror to look at myself. Looking at my reflection in the mirror, I couldn't help curling the corners of my mouth upwards. I really lost a lot of weight. And my complexion looks rosier too. I smiled faintly. I was in a great mood. The weight loss journey still has a long way to go. With that thought, I took the clothes by the door and headed to the river, planning to wash them all clean. I just arrived at the river when other women in the oasis all threw strange looks at me and whispered among themselves, "Isn't that Lu Ming? She's up so early. She's carrying so many clothes. Is she going to wash them herself? No way. She used to be too lazy to even wash her own hair. She's definitely putting on a show." Trying to get her 5 beast husband's attention, I rolled my eyes secretly, ignored all those gossipy comments, found an empty spot, and started washing the clothes. When the women by the river saw I was really scrubbing seriously, they all looked very shocked. This body may look chubby, but I've got quite a lot of strength. In less than 2.5 hours, I finished washing all the clothes. After I carried the clean clothes back, there were lots of orcs gathered in the square. My father was standing at the very front. All 5 of my beast husbands were there too. They seemed to be arranging today's oasis patrol duty. I got an idea and walked over with the clothes in my arms. Lu Xiao spotted me at first glance and frowned immediately. "Ming'er, what are you doing here?" "Dad, I want to go on patrol with you guys." "What did you say?" I said. "I want to go to the outer perimeter with you two." As soon as I finished speaking, everything fell silent around me. Then the whole square burst into mocking laughter. Did you guys hear that? Lu Ming actually said she's going to the outer perimeter too. That's so hilarious. Even my 5 beast husbands frowned and looked at me. They just thought I was trying to get close to them on purpose. Lu Ming, stop making trouble. You can barely walk steadily. You'll just be a burden if you go. I didn't care about everyone's mockery. I just looked at Lu Xiao calmly. Don't worry, Dad. I won't be a burden to anyone. I awakened a wood-type ability. I can protect myself. A wisp of green vine popped out of my palm, and I waved it around in front of everyone. The square went dead silent instantly. All the orcs' eyes went wide. They looked totally shocked. A woman actually awakened an ability. A woman actually awakened an ability. That's impossible. Yeah, only the most talented. Males can awaken abilities. Lu Ming is a woman. How could she awaken an ability? Lu Xiao also stared in shock at the little vine in his daughter's palm. He couldn't come to his senses for a long time. He's lived for so many years, and he's never seen a woman awaken an ability before. Looking at everyone's shocked expressions, I was secretly delighted inside. But I kept a calm look on my face. The gaze my several beast husbands looked at me with also had a lot less disgust in it. This woman really seems to have changed. It took Lu Xiao a long while to finally come back to his senses. Fine. Since you've awakened an ability, you can come along. 清末灵吉约此风和也沉. The 5 of you take good care of her. Don't let her get hurt. A woman awakening an ability is a huge deal in the Oasis. Maybe his daughter will even be able to lead the clan to a better future in the future. With that thought, Lu Xiao looked at Lu Ming much more favorably. There was even a hint of relief in his eyes. Right then, I just thought my dad was being a bit unreliable. Sure enough, Lu Xiao's next sentence made me lose it instantly. Xingmo Minger is in your care. You carry her later. Without waiting for anyone to agree, Lu Yuan immediately transformed into a giant white wolf and dashed towards Lu Lin. Leaving me standing alone next to Xingmo, I was totally stunned. Oh no, there's no way this guy would carry me willingly. Xingmo's face instantly darkened. Wanted to say no, but when he met Lu Xiao's gaze, he had to swallow his refusal. He moved slightly and transformed into a giant tiger, gesturing for me to climb on. I quickly scrambled onto his back. Xingmo's body tensed up. He turned back and glowered at me coldly. Don't be so stingy. Your fur is super soft. It feels really nice to touch. Xingmo's body went even stiffer. He cursed inwardly. That damn fat bitch actually dares to touch his fur. Wait till we get into the forest. He'll teach her a lesson for sure. The group set off soon after. Lin Jing transformed into a 12-meter-long black rock python swimming next to Xingmo. When I saw the giant python, I panicked and instinctively hugged Xingmo's neck tight. My scream made Xingmo's ears ring. Can you keep it down? Xingmo sounded totally annoyed. I awkwardly loosened my grip. Sorry, I didn't mean to. He's so scary. Lin Jing heard what I said. A flicker of confusion crossed his eyes. Am I that scary? I realized what I just said and felt super embarrassed about my overreaction. I quickly let go and said awkwardly, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Yutzi transformed into a 9-tailed red fox and came over. I'm a total plushie lover. Looking at that fiery red fox, I couldn't help reaching out to pet it. Yutzi, your fur is so pretty. Can I pet you just once? Yutzi's true form isn't as scary as Lin Jin's. It's actually super beautiful. But before my hand could touch Yutzi jumped away warily and put some distance between us. I awkwardly pulled my hand back. Feeling pretty embarrassed, I almost forgot. Guess she hates me a lot too. Feng He and Ye Chen at the back initially thought Lu Ming had really changed for the better. They were just about to come over. But before they could get close, they saw her trying to flirt with Yue. They immediately realized they'd been wrong. Soon the group reached the forest on the edge of the oasis. Xingmo was about to turn back into human form without a word. I sensed something was off and silently cursed that asshole. Right before he transformed, I quickly jumped off onto the ground. Xingmo glanced at me in surprise. Then his face twisted into disgust again. Stay here quietly. Don't wander off. I won't care if you die out here. With that, he didn't wait for my reply, and Xingmo quickly vanished into the forest. So he just left me here all alone. What kind of babysitting is this? I rolled my eyes. I didn't come here to be a burden. I came to find food and supplies. I picked some tough grass and wove a backpack basket. It doesn't look great, but it works. I walked up to a wild chestnut tree. I got a long stick and knocked the wild chestnuts off the branches, looking at the spiky wild chestnuts on the ground. I broke into a smile. What are you doing? A cold voice suddenly spoke up, which made me jump. I almost died of fright. I turned around still shaken and saw it was Ye Chen. I immediately glared at him. Do you walk without making any sound? Don't you know you could scare someone to death? These things are spiky. The fruit is tiny. It's not even enough for a bite. Why are you even collecting these? What do you know? This is called wild chestnut. It tastes super good, and it's filling. You can store it for a long time, too. It's even tastier than grilled meat. With that, I started picking up the wild chestnuts on the ground. I filled the basket really fast, so I had no choice but to weave another basket. Ye Chen watched her skillfully weaving the basket. A flicker of surprise crossed his eyes. You actually know how to weave baskets. You actually know how to weave baskets, I said without looking up. What? Is that not allowed? Ye Chen stared at me silently. He grew more and more confused. The old her couldn't even tell grasses apart and wouldn't touch them. Yet now she can weave baskets, and even knows wild chestnuts are edible. Just then, the system's voice sounded again. Host, Ye Chen's favorability has increased by 20 points. I was shocked. It's only been one day. The favorability score went up another 20 points. Men are really nothing special. I lifted my eyes and looked at Ye Chen. Aren't you going on duty? Of course I am. Be careful by yourself, okay? There are lots of fierce beasts in the forest. Right after that, he turned into a hawk and flew up to the sky. I watched his receding back. I felt no attachment at all, and kept looking for edible food. When the second basket was full of ingredients too, I was already so tired that I was covered in sweat. The sweat was sticking to my skin. It was so uncomfortable, So I ran to the small river, planning to wash my face. But when I saw my reflection in the water, I couldn't help sighing inwardly. I'm still so ugly. Even I find myself disgusting. I remembered I hadn't used my power to detox today. It's no big deal anyway. So I started activating my power, detoxing and losing weight at the same time. Right at that moment, a deer head popped out from the nearby bushes. It was Feng He. He originally came here to drink water, but he smelled a sour stench from far away. It made him totally grossed out. He immediately lost the desire to drink water and followed the smell to find the source, only to find out I was the one causing it. He watched me calmly retract my vines, then calmly wash all the gunk off my body. And finally, I looked like I'd lost a whole size. He couldn't help feeling confused. Is this ugly freak actually using her power to detox and lose weight? Feng He had to admit right then. Looming actually looked a lot more pleasant than before, but only by a tiny bit. I had no idea Feng He was watching me secretly. After I finished washing up, I turned back to the forest to look for wild vegetables and mushrooms. I was like a hard-working little hunter, picking all kinds of edible mushrooms. I even found great stuff like white fungus. By the end, I had filled 8 whole baskets, even though I was as tired as a dog. I was super happy inside. If I make a big feast with this when I get back, maybe I can charm those beast husbands of mine. The raiding mission will be a total piece of cake. I was just about to pack up my things when I suddenly heard heavy breathing behind me. I subconsciously turned around to look. I nearly scared my soul out of my body when I saw it. A huge saber-toothed tiger was standing behind me out of nowhere. Its huge mouth was wide open, staring at me viciously. My face went white with fear right away. I turned around and bolted. I ran while cursing in my head. What the hell is this garbage luck? I turn around and run into a tiger. The saber-toothed tiger saw that I dared to run, so it chased after me with its mouth wide open. I knew I couldn't outrun the saber-toothed tiger, but I couldn't just stop and wait to die either. I could only run forward as fast as I could. The saber-toothed tiger was extremely fast. It was just about to catch up to me. I was scared half to death. I quickly shouted in my head, "Jiang Jiang, help!" After the system popped up, it even spun around in a circle and struck a pose. My mouth twitched. Why do you even have an opening animation? The system spun around me a few times, but had no intention of helping at all. Hold on a little longer, host. Lin Ye is nearby. He's already heading your way. You're not gonna die. Lin Ye is nearby. I saw Lin Jin's true form, the black rock python. He was confronting the saber-toothed tiger. The giant python was surrounded by black mist. The mist seemed to be corrosive. Every time the saber-toothed tiger touched it, it would let out a shrill scream of pain. Not long after, the saber-toothed tiger was tightly coiled by Lin Jin's true form, and finally stopped breathing. I watched the scene from far away. I couldn't help clicking my tongue in amazement. Lin Jin really deserves his title as the top beastman of the beast world. The saber-toothed tiger was no match for him at all. Lin Jin turned back into human form and walked over to the saber-toothed tiger's corpse. He was just about to carry the corpse on his shoulder when he saw me running over. I looked rather grateful. "Thank you for saving my life." Lin Jin looked at me, who was all disheveled. A hint of disgust flashed in his eyes. He mumbled to himself quietly. "Really ugly, but her skin seems a bit fairer. The freckles on her face have faded a lot, too. She looks a little more pleasant to the eye now. But she's still ugly. Especially those big buck teeth of hers. I wish I could yank them all out and replace them." I was confused by the way he was staring at me. Especially, she kept staring at my mouth. Her eyes were full of disgust, with a hint of danger in them. I couldn't help stepping back 2 paces, covering my mouth, and staring at her warily. "What do you want?" "Nothing." Lin Jing looked away, in a cold tone. "I just think your buck teeth are still super ugly. Get them fixed as soon as you can, so they don't hurt people's eyes." She had no idea that her attention to Luming was growing more and more. I smiled. "Relax, I'll look good sooner or later. I know with the system here, getting prettier is just a matter of time." Seeing I said nothing more, Lin Jing didn't stay any longer, slung the saber-toothed tiger carcass over her shoulder and left, as if she was afraid if she was a second slower, I'd pester her endlessly. Looking at her back, I curled my lips. What a cold jerk. Then I followed the route I remembered, and went back to where I left the baskets earlier. I sat there and ate a few wild berries to fill my stomach a little. Before Xing Mo came back, he saw me sitting there obediently, plus the 8 baskets on the ground. A flicker of surprise crossed Xing Mo's eyes. "Huh. What are you doing with all this useless stuff? And these mushrooms might be poisonous. You still dared to pick them." Xing Mo frowned, in a disdainful tone. I glanced at him, in a flat tone. "These mushrooms aren't poisonous, they taste great. Even better than grilled meat. I'll cook them for you when we get back." "You'll see," Xing Mo snickered. A spoiled princess who never does any housework can actually cook. "It'd be a miracle if you don't poison yourself to death." Seeing he didn't believe me, I didn't explain more. Anyway, when I cook nice meals back home, I won't even give them any if they beg. It was already dusk when we got back to the oasis. Yutzi walked slowly towards me. She has a beautiful face. So pretty you can't tell their gender. Almost unnaturally gorgeous. "Here, take it. I remember someone said they wanted to lose weight. If you eat this big chunk of grilled meat, how are you going to lose all that fat on you?" This jerk has such a foul mouth. I glanced at Xing Mo casually. Didn't bicker with him like I usually do. Instead, I turned to look at Yuichi. Took the grilled meat with a big smile. "Thank you." Right at that moment, the system's voice popped up in my head. Meow. Host UAC's favorability has increased by 10 points. I raised my eyebrows slightly, looked at UAC. With a gentle smile, "UAC, come to my place another day. I'll make you something delicious." UAC replied in a soft voice. Didn't turn me down. "Okay." Seeing Luming and Yuetsu chatting happily, a hint of disdain flashed in Xing Mo's eyes. A mocking smirk tugged at his cold lips. Out of all of them, only Yuetsu takes the best care of this ugly freak. Brings her meat every single meal without fail. Delivers it right on time. Scared she'll starve to death? And that's exactly why. The original host got fatter and fatter from eating so much. I glanced at Xing Mo, deliberately took a huge bite of the grilled meat right in front of him. In a super exaggerated way, I chewed and praised loudly at the same time. Yuetsu's cooking is so good. This grilled meat is crispy on the outside and tender inside. It's so yummy. Xing Mo watched me deliberately trying to annoy him, his gaze as cold as ice. This fat bitch really needs to be taught a lesson. System, did Xing Mo's favorability change at all? Host, Xing Mo's favorability went up another 5 points. Current favorability is 85. Keep up the good work, host. I was slightly stunned and realized right away, this jerk is the typical type who hates people fawning over him. The more you ignore him and annoy him, the more he cares about you. Plain and simple, he's just a total prick. In a corner of the square, Lin Jing's eyes were fixed on me. This woman seems to be getting more and more interesting. Feng He was sitting among the crowd, glanced at me indifferently. Ye Chen was sitting not far away, stared at me with a heavy gaze. Somehow, I actually thought the way he deliberately annoyed Jingmo just now was super funny. I even hoped he could annoy him even harder, ideally make that guy Jingmo throw a fit straight away. Of course, I noticed several gazes falling on me, but I didn't care at all. I turned around to go back, only to find someone blocking my way. It was Ziyue. A good dog doesn't block the road. You ugly freak? How dare you call me a dog? Yeah, I'm calling you that, so what? If you don't want to be a dog, then get the hell out of my way. My 5 beast husbands are my capture targets after all. I can put up with them for the favorability points. But what even is Ziyue? Does she really think I'm a pushover she can bully as she likes? Ziyak had never been insulted like this before. She was instantly furious and raised her hand to slap me across the face. You bitch, how dare you scold me? I'll smash your mouth open. She wasn't scared at all that Lu Yuan would blame her. After all, her mom would protect her. Seeing her slap coming at me, I sneered in my heart. The moment the slap was about to hit my face, a vine suddenly shot out from my palm. I flicked my wrist hard. The vine whipped Ziyue hard and sent her flying straight away. All the beastmen present were shocked, their eyes all fixed on the vine in my palm. Is this the power she awakened? It's clearly a wood-type power. How can it be used like this? Is this the power she awakened? It's clearly a wood-type power. How can it be used like this? Jingmo also looked at me in shock, though he knew I'd awakened a power long ago. He didn't pay it any mind. Now seeing me use a vine to whip Ziyue flying, he actually thought to himself that Ziyue deserved it. Lin Jinyue, Sifeng, Yechen, and the others all had different expressions, each with their own thoughts. No one said a word. Ziyue's beast husbands were also there. Seeing their woman get whipped flying, their faces turned extremely ugly. One of them stepped forward and glared at me angrily. Lu Ming, Ziyue was just joking with you. Aren't you being too much? I know who he is. He's Langya Ziyue's 3rd beast husband. I sneered and asked back, I want to ask you something. If I hadn't awakened my power, and Ziyue's slap had actually hit my face just now, would any of you stand up for me? Would any of you stand up for me? Langya was left speechless by my question. His lips moved, but he couldn't say a single word to refute me for a long time. Seeing him like this, I scoffed and pressed on step by step. What's wrong? Can't answer. Since none of you would stand up for me, what right do you have to judge me now? Ziyue hit me first. Is it wrong for me to fight back? Which rule says only she can bully me, and I can't fight back? Well said. Jingmo pushed through the crowd of onlooking beastmen and walked out, with a faint amused smirk on his lips, but his eyes were as cold as ice. When his gaze swept across Ziyue's 7 beast husbands, his tone was full of sarcasm. In the beast world, strength is everything. You're useless, got fought back against, and now you're looking for help. You even have the nerve to question others. Though he hated Lu Ming was still his nominal partner after all. He could bully her all he wanted, but if others bullied her, that was a slap to his face. Sieg stood where she was, her face puffed up like a ripe wild fruit. Trembling all over with anger, she pointed at Jingmo, her voice shaking. Jingmo, how dare you help her? I've liked you for so long. You know that clearly. How can you help this ugly freak? Jingmo glanced at her. What's the use of a pretty face if you're full of evil intentions? Ziyue was too choked up to say anything. She could only glare at me fiercely, and said through gritted teeth, Lu Ming, you wait for me. I will never let you off. I rolled my eyes, and didn't take her threat seriously at all. I turned around and went back to my room with the herbs. But I hadn't even sat down for 2 seconds when a woman's voice came from the door. Linger, are you in? My heart sank. It was the original owner's mother. I looked at the woman walking in. I didn't feel a single bit of warmth in my heart. The original owner's mom had always hated her. She either beat or scolded her on normal days. There was no mother-daughter bond between them at all. She's coming over right now. She definitely isn't here for anything good. Mom, what are you doing here? Mom's gaze fell on my face. A flicker of surprise crossed her eyes. She frowned subconsciously. Why did you suddenly get so clean, you little brat? Tell me, did you make Ziyue angry? I immediately figured out why she came. She's here to confront and scold me. I'm obviously her real daughter. Yet she insists on protecting an outsider. It's like Ziyue is the one she gave birth to. I looked up at Mom. I asked with a half smile. Mom, Ziwei told you that, right? Mom's face changed slightly, but she still acted tough. So what if she did? Ziwei is way more well-behaved and sensible than you, and prettier than you too. How can you even compare to her? I didn't back down either. I talked back right away. Yeah, I did make her angry. So what? What are you gonna do about it, Mom? Gonna beat me like you used to. My stare made Mom feel really uneasy. She wanted to hit me at first, but she felt like this daughter of hers had changed somehow. Changed in a really weird way. In the end, she could only roar angrily out of frustration. I'm warning you. Don't you ever bully Ziwei again, or I won't let you off easy. With that, she turned around and left in a hurry. I watched her back as she left. I had a vague feeling there was something fishy going on. An idea suddenly popped into my head. Do Mom and Ziwei have some special blood relationship? The system's voice sounded at the right time. Host, Mom is Ziwei's biological mother. She had Ziwei with another orc years ago. It all clicked for me right away. Oh, that's why. If Dad finds out about this, how will he react? I immediately mumbled silently in my mind. Jang, can you check Mom and her lover's secret meeting time and location? And also check if that man is Ziwei's biological father. The system's voice responded quickly. It sounded kind of gossipy. Of course, host. Mom's lover is called Heishi. He's an orc living on the edge of the tribe. And he's also Ziwei's biological father. They always meet in secret at the back mountain in the evening. Today happens to be their agreed meeting day. If we leave right now, we'll make it just in time. After getting this information, a cold glint flashed across my eyes. I stood up and straightened my clothes. I can't tell Dad directly. That would look way too intentional. What I need to do is lead him to the back mountain accidentally. At this hour, Dad just finished his patrol shift. He usually goes to inspect the back mountain, to check the security of the outer perimeter. This is the perfect opportunity. I walked quickly towards the square, pretending to be wandering around. I deliberately lingered near Dad's personal orc guard. Sure enough, not long after, Dad brought his personal guard to go inspect the back mountain. I pretended to look flustered when I saw that, and bumped into Dad's arm. Dad, I just went to the back mountain to pick wild fruits. And I think I saw Mom. She was following a strange orc towards the remote cave over there. I didn't dare ask more, and didn't dare follow them. I lowered my head right after I finished speaking, pretending to be scared, like I really just ran into them by accident, and didn't dare tell anyone. Lu Xiao had already been suspicious of Mom's weird behavior lately anyway. After hearing what I said, his face immediately darkened. Is what you said true? You didn't get it wrong. I nodded quickly. Is what you said true? You didn't get it wrong. I nodded quickly. My eyes looked completely honest. I wouldn't dare lie to you, Dad. I saw it really clearly. It was definitely Mom. I've never seen that orc before. They were walking really fast, like they were scared of being seen. Lu Xiao didn't ask any more questions. He snapped at his personal guard coldly. Let's go to the back mountain. With that, he strode towards the back mountain. His expression was terrifyingly dark. I didn't follow them. I just stood at the corner of the square, quietly waiting. I know in the cave on the back hill, a totally shameful scene is unfolding right now. Dad's arrival will completely tear off Mom's disguise. About half an hour later, a furious roar came from the direction of the back hill. That was Dad's rage, pent up to the absolute limit. All the orcs were stunned by this rage, and stopped whatever they were doing, whispering among themselves. I finally got my revenge. I didn't overthink anything. I snuck off with my body wash to the lower stream deep in the forest. This spot is more hidden than the upper stream. No need to worry about awkward run-ins like the one with Ye Chen. Jiang, give me the slimming pill and whitening pill. Got it, host. I'll get them ready for you right away. In just a moment. 2 small pills appeared in my hand, exactly the portion allocated by the system. I didn't hesitate at all, and swallowed them directly. The pills melted as soon as they entered my mouth. A light, fresh scent spread through my throat. I looked down at my reflection in the water. Though I wasn't super skinny yet, I was no longer as bloated as I used to be. My figure had become much more well-proportioned, and my skin was a lot fairer too. You could even call me a slim, pretty girl now. I just sat down on the blue stone by the river and carefully scrubbed my body. The water rose over my ankles, carrying the fresh scent of grass and trees. I was enjoying my scrub thoroughly. When soft, quiet footsteps sounded behind me, a tall figure suddenly flashed right in front of me, and its shadow completely covered me in an instant. "Who's there?" I froze all over from shock and let out a sharp scream. My foot slipped, and I fell into the river with a loud splash, sending a huge spray of water everywhere. The person who came was Feng He. He had come to the river to get a drink, and never expected to run into this scene. Moonlight spilled over the surface of the water. My soaked clothes clung tightly to my body, outlining my curvy figure perfectly. I could clearly see that the man who never liked me, Feng He, unconsciously rolled his Adam's apple. A flash of amazement crossed his eyes. Feng He was lost in his own thoughts for a second. I didn't have time to care about that. My eyes were fixed firmly on the bottle of body wash that had fallen into the water with me. This is the only reward I got from the system. It's my treasure for staying clean and looking pretty. If I lose it, I'll be absolutely heartbroken. I stomped my feet anxiously, ignoring how cold and wet I was, and dove hard towards the body wash. But right when my fingertips were about to touch the bottle, a sharp pain suddenly hit my calf. My leg lost all strength instantly. I had a cramp. Oh no. My heart sank. And I thought to myself that this was really bad. I don't want to die right after I transmigrated. Before I reach my ideal body weight. Before I finish wooing all my beast husbands. By drowning in this stupid river. After the initial panic, I forced myself to calm down and stopped flailing around randomly. I let my body relax completely and lay on my back on the water surface, using the water's buoyancy to keep my balance, until the cramp in my calf eased up. Feng He on the shore saw that I suddenly went quiet all of a sudden, floating motionless on the surface of the water. He frowned immediately. I was waiting for my leg to recover when I caught a glimpse of a tall figure swimming towards me. I took a closer look, and it was actually Feng He. I was totally stunned for a second and couldn't help complaining in my head. Why the hell is this guy here? He must be here to laugh at me. He probably even wants me to drown. So I stop annoying him every day. After all, Feng He's favorability score towards me is still 90. He used to avoid me like the plague before. There's no way he's here to actually save me. Before I could keep overthinking, Feng He had already swam right next to me. Without saying a single word, he put his hands under my armpits and lifted my whole body out of the water. I was caught completely off guard. My whole body went stiff in his arms. My mind went totally blank. This is the first time Feng He has touched me on his own, and in such an intimate position too. After I snapped back to my senses, I struggled to get out of his arms, yelling at the same time. "Let go of me. Put me down right now. My body wash is gonna float away." Feng He got annoyed by all my squirming. "Stop moving," I complained silently to myself. I wasn't even drowning in the first place. I appreciate him saving me out of kindness, but my body wash is way more important, okay? This jerk is so unreasonable. Seeing me struggle even harder, and realizing I didn't actually look like I was drowning. Feng He simply let go of me. With a loud splash, I fell hard into the water again, and choked on quite a few mouthfuls of water. My limbs flailed around wildly. I was so mad I started cursing. "Feng He, you bastard. How dare you drop me like that?" Feng He brushed the water off his clothes. "You were the one who told me to let go." I was so mad I was grinding my teeth. But I didn't even bother arguing with him. Suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head. I smacked my own forehead. I'm such an idiot. I forgot I have my special ability. I focused my mind. A wisp of green vine popped out of my palm instantly and zoomed straight toward the body wash and wrapped itself tightly around the bottle. I gave it a light tug and pulled the body wash right into my hand. I clutched the bottle tightly, grinning from ear to ear. My wood-type ability never lets me down. Feng He stood off to the side, watching me go from panicking to over the moon in seconds. He couldn't help frowning. He ignored me after that, turned around and headed downstream of the stream. Seeing him go all the way downstream to bathe, a mischievous glint flashed in my eyes, and I rolled my eyes secretly. "You think I'm gross, huh? Fine, I'll give you what you want." I deliberately found a spot that's not too close, and not too far from Feng He, then sat down. I dipped my feet into the river and yelled at the top of my lungs, "Washing my feet, washing my feet." I haven't washed my feet in months. Wonder what they smell like? I could feel that Feng He, who was downstream, Scrubbing himself suddenly froze mid-action. I didn't even have to look to know his handsome face. Must have turned as dark as a pot bottom instantly. I deliberately yelled even louder and started humming a post-apocalyptic nursery rhyme. Shwa 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 ooh ooh. Shwa 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 ha ha. He couldn't help glancing back at me. I swung my feet around, humming happily to myself, with a big bright smile on my face. Moonlight fell on my face, making it glow extra bright. Dear host, Feng He's favorability score has increased by 20 points. Current favorability score, 70. Keep up the good work, host. System Zhangzhang's voice popped up right on cue. I froze instantly. The smile on my face stiffened for a second. Wait, I was purposely pissing him off. And his favorability score still goes up. I never would have guessed. Feng He is actually into this kind of vibe. Maybe there's a shortcut to winning this jerk over. Once I figured that out, the smile on my face grew wider and wider. I dumped all my reserve completely and started letting myself go wild, yelling even louder while singing more raucous songs. Just when I thought Feng He's favorability score would keep going up, a dark shadow suddenly popped up behind me. Feng He's cold voice rang right next to my ear. It's no use singing anymore. I will never be with you. Just give it up. I jumped in fright and turned around abruptly, only to see Feng He frowning, with a faint, unnoticeable panic hidden in his eyes. I was instantly speechless and rolled my eyes. Who wants to be with you? Stop being so full of yourself. As soon as I said that, my cheeks flushed for no reason. Feng He looked at my bright red face. A flash of surprise crossed his eyes. Then he raised an eyebrow. Oh, you don't want to... Then why were you acting like a maniac in front of me just now? Singing those weird songs. If not to get my attention, I was entertaining myself? Who's trying to get your attention? I retorted angrily, puffing out my cheeks, and turned my face away to avoid looking at him. Feng He stared at my reddening earlobes for a few seconds, then turned around and walked past me, and left without looking back. I watched his leaving back, and curled my lip. What a clueless jerk! That's what I said out loud. But I was over the moon inside. As long as the favorability score goes up, it's fine. I'll have plenty of chances to win him over later. The next day I got out of bed, took out the wild vegetables and yellow mutton from yesterday and got busy. In a little while, a pot of fragrant pan-fried lamb chops are ready. Golden and crispy, the aroma fills the entire room. I take a bite. It tastes amazing. Most of the chops are still left in the pot. Maybe I should send a bowl to those stupid guys. Sure, they're annoying, but they're my romance targets after all. Otherwise, I can't level up at all. I was just about to head out when footsteps come from the door. Yuezi walks in carrying a bunch of fruits and melons. Yuezi, what are you doing here? Yuezi puts down the fruits and melons. His eyes automatically drift to the meat in my hand. He swallows unconsciously. He tried the soup I made yesterday. It was super tasty. Now that he smells the meat fragrance, he gets hungry right away. Perfect timing. I just made pan-fried lamb chops. Come have some with me. I can't finish all this by myself anyway. Yuezi freezes for a second, then nods his head. He doesn't hold back at all. Grabs a lamb chop and starts wolfing it down. I sit across from Yuezi, watching him eat with a big smile. I feel super accomplished. Turns out good food is the perfect key to winning over beast husbands. If I can win all 5 beast husbands over with food, I won't have to waste time coming up with silly tricks. Yuezi's looks are super androgynous. He has a really gentle vibe all over him. His wolfing down look right now adds a bit of wildness, which makes him even more attractive. I zone out a little staring at him. I can't help but stare a little longer. Yuezi feels awkward being stared at like that. He stops eating, frowns and asks, "Why are you staring at me the whole time? Is there something on my face?" I quickly look away and say with a smile, No, I just think you're really good looking. Prettier than most of the orcs here." Yuezi is stunned. Lots of females have said similar things to him before. He always found it annoying. But when I say it, he feels weirdly happy. And even a little embarrassed. He asks in a low voice, "Really? Then between me, Xingmo, Linjian, Fengxiu, and Ye Chen, who do you think is better looking? All 5 of you are good looking, each with your own unique charms. You're all the top hunks in the oasis. Yuetsi raises an eyebrow. He's obviously very satisfied with this answer. And asks again, then tell me, what are each of our unique charms? My mouth twitches. I feel like Yuetsi is about to ask me if I fall into the river with his mom at the same time, who I would save first. I look at his slightly nervous expression and can't help teasing him. I drawl on purpose. Xingmo is the domineering, unruly type. Lin Jing is the cold, aloof heartthrob. Feng He is like the cool wind in the mountains, gentle but powerful. Ye Chen is detached and otherworldly. He has this fairy-like aura, and you... I pause for a second. You're warm and gentle, like the warm sun in winter. People can't help wanting to get close to you. Yuetsi is slightly stunned, even though he doesn't know what domineering and unruly and cold, aloof heartthrob mean. He gets the gist of it. A warm feeling rushes through his chest right away. The corners of his mouth lift unconsciously. Ding host, Yuetsi's favorability has increased by 10 points. Reward, 1 weight loss pill. I didn't expect a few compliments would raise favorability. And give me rewards too. That's such a good deal. Hey, Yuetsi. Not only are you good-looking, you're also super capable. You're gentle and thoughtful too. I bet tons of girls like you, right? Ding host. Yuetzi's favorability has increased by 5 points. Haha. Looks like I just need to compliment Yuetsi more to win him over. Don't think that just because you say nice things, I'll get together with you. You went crazy in the West Side last night and deliberately harassed Lord Feng. The whole tribe knows about it. I almost choke on my spit. I'm speechless for a second. Who wants to get together with you? Why do you guys have such weird thought processes? I was just complimenting you, that's all. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I don't even bother talking to Yuetsi anymore. I stood up and picked up the leftover meat, turned around and headed straight out of the house. Where are you going? Yuetsi stared at my back. I said without looking back. To bring food to those guys? Yuetsi frowned even harder. His irritation grew stronger and stronger. The boys' rooms are all on the top floor. The original owner was too fat to climb up before, so she barely bothered them, and they were happy for the peace. Luckily, I've lost a lot of weight now. Climbing this bit is tiring, but I can push through it. I finally made it to Xingmo's door, only to find no one inside. I was about to turn and go to Lin Jin's room. I ran straight into Xingmo, who was coming back. Our eyes met. The air turned awkward right away. I blinked and forced a smile. Xingmo, I brought you something to eat. It's super tasty. He pretended to be calm and frowned as he asked, Are you sure this meat is edible? You didn't poison it, did you? In his eyes, I definitely had bad intentions. Probably planning some trick again. My mouth twitched hard. I was so mad I almost threw the bowl on the ground. Xingmo, can you have a conscience? I'm being nice bringing you food, and you suspect I poisoned it. Take it or leave it. Suit yourself if you don't want it. Take it or leave it. Suit yourself if you don't want it. With that, I turned around to take the meat away. Seeing this, Xingmo quickly reached out to stop me. A faint, unnoticeable smile tugged at his mouth corner. Since you brought it over, why would I let you take it back? I'll eat it, okay? As soon as he finished speaking, he snatched the bowl right out of my hand, turned around and walked into his room, picked up a piece of meat and stuffed it in his mouth. I froze on the spot, totally dumbfounded. Isn't this jerk super proud and arrogant? Why did he just snatch it like that? And he took both bowls too. After I realized what happened, I rushed into the room yelling, Xingmo, stop it. The other 2 bowls are for Linji and Ye Chen. You can't eat all of them. Xingmo chewed the venison in his mouth and mumbled unclearly, For them. They hunted a whole bison last night. They must have already eaten. So all of this is mine, obviously. I stomped my feet in anger. Why do you get to eat all of it? Give it back to me now. With that, I stepped forward to grab it back. Xingmo lifted me easily and moved me to the side. When his fingertips touched my body, he froze immediately. How did she get so light overnight? Xingmo was shocked in his heart, but he didn't show it on his face. Xingmo was shocked in his heart, but he didn't show it on his face. It's just some meat, okay? I'll pay you back later. I glared at him fiercely. I knew I couldn't win against him anyway, so I just gave up. Fine, I won't argue with you. I'll go tell Lin Sheng. See how he deals with you. With that, I turned around and walked out of the room. As soon as I stepped out the door, I bumped into a cold figure. I covered my nose. The pain was so bad I almost cried. I looked up, and it was Lin Jin. Lin Jin, can you make some noise when you walk? You almost flattened my nose. Lin Jin frowned, looking at my teary face. A faint, unnoticeable guilt crossed his heart, but he was still as snarky as ever. Your nose was already flat. A little flatter won't hurt. I was so mad I gritted my teeth and glared at him viciously. Don't you give me that snarky crap? Xingmo, that jerk stole your portion. Hurry up and get it back. Hearing this, Lin Jin frowned immediately and looked towards Xingmo's room unhappily. I stood off to the side with an amused expression, ready to watch the show. I really want to see which of these two cold and arrogant beast husbands is more powerful. But the next second, Lin Jin's reaction totally shocked me. If he likes it that much, just leave all of it for him to eat. I froze on the spot. I was totally confused, that's it. They didn't even start a fight. After Lin Jing finished speaking, he didn't even glance at me again. He dusted himself off and turned to leave, leaving only a cold, stern figure behind. I silently complained in my mind. It's all that jerk Xingmo's fault. Such a good show was totally ruined like this. I turned around and glared fiercely at Xingmo. My eyes were practically overflowing with dissatisfaction. Xingmo curled his lips a little. He spoke with a faint smile. Your cooking skills are pretty good. You'll be in charge of all my meals from now on. The corner of my mouth twitched hard. I almost laughed out of anger. This guy's calculations are way too obvious. Want me to cook for you every day like a nanny, in your dreams? On the way back, I was still secretly roasting Xingmo for being shameless. A system notification suddenly went off in my head. Ding, congratulations, host. Xingmo's favorability rating has increased by 40 points. Current favorability rating is 20 points. Keep up the good work, host. Get it to 0 as soon as possible. To unlock the side quest, I looked down at the empty plate in my hand. It suddenly clicked for me. No wonder the old saying goes, if you want to win a man's heart, you have to win over his stomach first. After figuring that out, my anger faded instantly. I walked back with much lighter steps. It was getting darker and darker. The evening wind was also getting colder. I lay on the bed. I fell asleep in no time. Probably because I was busy cooking all day. I was really exhausted. But I didn't sleep for long. When I was woken up by a sharp wolf howl, all my sleepiness vanished in an instant. I snapped my eyes open. I cursed under my breath. Who's being so inconsiderate? Howling like a wolf in the middle of the night. Do they even let people sleep? I got up and got out of bed. I'd just walked to the door when I was totally shocked by the scene outside. All the orcs in the oasis had shifted to their beast forms, their true forms, and were all rushing outside together. The scene was extremely spectacular, but also carried a hint of panic. Someone was yelling, their voice full of urgency. The chief has ordered, "We can't let Siqing get away. We must bring her back." I was stunned for a second. I immediately understood what was going on. Turns out just now, my brother couldn't bear to see our mom trapped in the dungeon for life, so he teamed up with mom's lover to sneak her out. I curled my lip. I was going to turn around and go back to sleep. This kind of trivial matter. I don't even care about it. But I'd only taken 2 steps when a system notification went off in my head again. Ding. Hidden quest triggered. Help seeking escape successfully. Quest rewards, whitening pill, weight loss pill. I immediately had a black face. I roared furiously in my mind. System, do you think my life is too long? I reported mom to dad. She wants to skin me alive right now. Host, this quest didn't appear out of nowhere. No matter how bad Siqing is, she's still your body's biological mother. If she dies because of you, it will have a negative impact on your luck. When I heard it would affect my luck, I instantly got torn. I don't want to be unlucky every day for the rest of my life, even choking on cold water when I drink it. I hesitated for a moment. I finally caved. Fine, what do I need to do? Siqing is currently being taken away by her other lover, Lei Wo, to escape. Xingmo is exactly the one in charge of the pursuit. You just need to stop Xingmo, or distract him at the right time. So he can't find Lei Wo and Siqing, that's all. I quickly asked again, has Xingmo left yet? If he's already left, Even if I had 8 legs, I wouldn't be able to catch up. I panicked instantly when I heard that, and immediately ran outside. After this period of weight loss and exercise, my speed has gotten a lot faster. I rushed to the square in no time. Quite a few orcs had already gathered in the square. Xingmo was standing in the middle of the crowd assigning pursuit tactics. They were obviously just about to set off. When he saw me suddenly appear, he looked totally confused. "What are you doing here in the middle of the night?" Then he thought for a second. The person who escaped was my mom. So Xingmo immediately understood. He thought I wanted to come along to see Siqing. He didn't ask any more questions. Turned into his beast form immediately. Into a majestic giant tiger. He had a towering build. And a menacing aura. I wasn't scared at all. I just walked over and climbed onto his back. Xingmo felt the weight on his back. And was stunned for a second. Even though he's been obsessed with my cooking lately, and his favor for me has gone up. That doesn't mean I can climb on his back whenever I want. If you don't take me with you, you'll never get to eat my cooking again. Xingmo was left speechless. He had no choice. If you eat someone's food, you owe them a favor. If you take someone's stuff, you're in their debt. He's been so hooked on my cooking lately that he literally can't live without it. Forget taking me with him. Even if I ask him to be my personal mount, he'd probably hesitate a little and still say yes. Huh, what's wrong? Are you scared or something? Scared I'll slow you down. Relax, even if I can't protect you. I won't cause you any trouble. Hearing that, Xingmo got pissed off right away. When has he ever been scared of anything? He didn't say another word. He put all his strength into his 4 limbs. Carrying me on his back, he shot forward like an arrow released from a bow and quickly vanished into the night. The whole way, I was thinking about how to stop Xingmo from catching Siqing. Zhangjiang, where are Siqing and Leiwo right now? They're in the forest up ahead. Xingmo and the others must have caught their scent. That's why they've been chasing along this route. At this rate, we'll catch up to them really soon. I panicked immediately when I heard that. How is this guy so ridiculously fast? He's almost caught up without me even noticing. Siqing can't be caught and taken back no matter what, or my mission will be a total failure. I rolled my eyes and got an idea. I pointed at the bushes next to us. Xingmo, look, there's movement over there. Is that Siqing and the others? Stop messing around. There's nothing there. My mouth twitched in annoyance. That trick didn't work, so I thought of another one. I deliberately pretended to have a stomachache and spoke in a whiny, wronged voice. Xingmo, your bouncing is making me want to throw up. Can you stop for a second? Xingmo stumbled and almost fell flat on the ground. Even though he was super annoyed, he still stopped in the end. Then he told the dozen or so companions behind him to keep chasing, while he stayed behind with me. I watched those beastmen rush off to chase them. I can stall Xingmo with excuses. But I can't stop those other beastmen. If they catch up to Siqing, my mission will be completely ruined. But at this point, I can't think of any other solution. I can only secretly pray Siqing and the others run faster. Xingmo saw I wasn't moving for ages, and couldn't help urging me. Weren't you gonna throw up? Why aren't you going already? I laughed awkwardly when I heard that, and shamelessly made up a random excuse. I suddenly don't feel like throwing up anymore. Let's just keep chasing Siqing and the others. Sigh. Even though Xingmo was still annoyed, he didn't say anything more. He turned back into his beast form again, carried me on his back and kept chasing forward. On the other side, Siqing was lying on Leiwo's back, secretly making a vow that she'd make Leiwei team up with her. Several lovers to raise the wolf tribe to the ground, especially that little bitch Lu Ming, who got me thrown into the dungeon. I will definitely get my revenge for that. Just as Siqing was fuming silently in her head, she suddenly felt Leiwo slow down, and finally stop completely. She was shocked, thinking the pursuers had caught up. Her face turned white with fear, and she was shaking all over. Are the pursuers here? Leiwo quickly comforted her. Qing'er, don't be scared, it's not the pursuers. There's no more road ahead. Siqing immediately breathed a sigh of relief. She looked around, only to find a bottomless cliff right in front of them. They were trapped with no way out at all. She broke down immediately, her voice trembling. We're done for, Leiwo. Are we gonna die here? I don't want to die yet. She could faintly hear howls coming from behind. It was obvious the pursuers were getting closer and closer. Siking's fear grew even more intense. Leiwo was also a little panicked, but he forced himself to stay calm and comforted her in a soft voice. "Don't be scared, Chinger, I'm here. I won't let anything happen to you." That being said, he had no clue what to do either. The pursuers were right on their heels, and right ahead was a cliff. There was literally no way out. He couldn't just jump off the cliff with Si Ching, right? Meanwhile, Xinglo and I soon reached the edge of the cliff. I spotted Leiwo standing by the cliff edge right away. He had shifted to his real form, a majestic golden lion. Si Ching next to him was deathly pale, shaking all over. Seeing them trapped in front of the cliff, my face turned extremely grim too. Damn it. How am I supposed to help Si Ching get out of this? How am I supposed to help Si Ching get out of this? Then a thought suddenly hit me. I immediately asked the system in my head, "Jiang, what's at the bottom of this cliff? If Leiwo jumps down with Si Ching, is there any slim chance they'll survive?" Host: "This cliff is extremely deep. We can't measure its exact depth. There's an underground river at the bottom. If Leiwo jumps down with Si Ching, their odds of survival are very low. But it's not totally impossible." My eyes flickered slightly. I already had a plan in mind. I lifted my head and looked at Si Ching and Leiwo, who were cornered at the cliff edge. I raised my voice and said, "Si Ching, since you gave birth to me, I can show you a way out. It just depends on if you dare to take the gamble." As soon as I said that, Xingmo frowned immediately. He wanted to speak up and stop me, but he held back after a second thought. I want to see what trick this woman is trying to pull. When Si Ching saw I was among the pursuers, she wanted to skin me alive. But when she heard I had a way out for her, she perked up immediately and asked hurriedly, "What way out?" The corner of my mouth curled up slightly. I pointed at the bottomless cliff ahead and said slowly, "Jump off from here." "What? You want me to jump off the cliff?" Si Ching's face changed drastically. Her voice instantly went up an octave. "Lu Ming, you little bitch. You're actually trying to kill me." Xingmo's mouth twitched violently. This woman really has bad intentions. Telling Si Ching to jump off the cliff. Only she could come up with such an idea. A cliff this deep. Even if she jumped down herself, she wouldn't necessarily survive. I seemed to see Si Ching's hesitation. I pretended to be casual and said, "There's an underground river at the bottom of the cliff. If you're lucky enough, you might just make it out alive." I paused and added, "Of course you can try to fight back too. But just the two of you. You probably can't beat all these orcs, right? If you get caught later, Dad will definitely not let you off easy." When Xingmo heard there's an underground river at the cliff bottom, he was stunned immediately. She's a woman who barely left the tribe growing up. How could she know there's an underground river down there? This woman? How many secrets is she hiding? Hearing that, Leiwo fell silent immediately. He looked at Si Ching, who was shaking all over next to him, and quickly made up his mind. Instead of getting caught and waiting to die, it's better to jump off the cliff for a slim chance of survival. "Chinger, do you trust me?" Leiwo's tone was extremely serious. Si Ching looked at his determined expression and froze for a second, even though she was still scared. She nodded palely. "I trust you." At this point, she had no other choice anyway. The two made up their minds and got ready to jump off the cliff. But right at the critical moment, Si Ching suddenly turned her gaze to me. With a sad, reluctant look on her face, "Mom knows I treated you badly before. But you're my own daughter after all. Before I die, I want to touch you properly, okay?" I sneered in my head over and over. There's no way Si Ching suddenly had a change of heart. This woman is full of bad ideas. She's probably trying to pull me down the cliff with her. "Just say whatever you want to say from there. I can hear you." Seeing I wouldn't fall for her trick, Si Ching was grinding her teeth in hatred, but she still put on a pitiful look and looked at Leiwo next to her. "Leiwo, I really want to touch Minger before I die. Can you help me get closer to her?" Revo sighed inwardly. He just thought Si Ching was being a loving mother, so he nodded. He let out a long roar and dashed straight towards Xingmo with Si Ching on his back. His speed was unbelievably fast. No one had time to react. I realized what was happening immediately. My face dropped instantly. I yelled at the top of my lungs, "Xingmo, get out of the way." Before I even finished speaking, Jingmo had already grabbed me and pulled me back fast. But Revo was way too fast. He was right in front of us in the blink of an eye. Siking, who was sitting on Revo's back, had nothing but crazy hatred in her eyes. She suddenly reached out to grab me. A cold glint flashed across Jingmo's eyes. He didn't hesitate to kick Revo hard in the stomach. Revo let out a sharp scream. He was caught off guard and kicked to the ground, along with Seeking, who was on his back. They started rolling towards the cliff. Just when they were about to fall off the cliff, Seeking suddenly burst into crazy laughter. "Looming, I'm dragging you to hell with me. I gave you your life, so I'm taking it back today." She reached out one hand while laughing and clamped down hard on my ankle, yanking it down with all her strength. I felt a tight grip on my ankle, followed by a huge force pulling me. I lost my balance instantly and started falling off the cliff. Everyone present was stunned by this sudden turn of events. No one expected Seeking to lose her mind like that, let alone that she'd be this ruthless. Jingmo reacted the fastest. The second I started falling, he stretched out his long arm and grabbed my wrist tightly. I looked up at Jingmo, who was lying on the edge of the cliff, refusing to let go of me no matter what. I looked completely shocked. "Jingmo, I really couldn't believe it. This jerk who'd always snarked at me before would risk his own life to save me. Don't get the wrong idea, I just don't want you to die, so I don't get in trouble with the chief." Jingmo's voice was a little hoarse. Cold sweat was all over his forehead. He said that, but his grip got tighter and tighter, his knuckles turning white from the force. I was just about to speak when I felt the force on my ankle get even stronger. Seeking was still struggling like crazy, pulling both Jingmo and me slowly downwards. "You fat bitch. Didn't you say you lost weight? Why are you still so heavy?" Jingmo was gritting his teeth, veins popping out on his arm. He was so mad he almost coughed up blood. With Seeking pulling hard on my ankle, plus my own body weight, he could barely hold on any longer. He turned his head to look at the edge of the cliff and yelled at the still stunned companions, "What are you staring at? Get over here and help now." The orcs finally snapped out of it and all rushed forward, trying to help pull us up. But one of the orcs, named Kwangtie, had a cold, sinister look in his eyes. He was clearly up to no good. He pretended to reach out to help pull us up with the others, but actually accidentally kicked a small rock on purpose. The rock bounced right onto Jingmo's arm that was holding onto the rock. Jingmo's arm stung with pain. He reflexively loosened his grip, and the next second, Seeking and I both fell straight down the cliff. I felt my body falling nonstop, the weightlessness making my head spin. In a panic, I instinctively activated my healing ability and swung the vine in my hand hard. It quickly wrapped around a crooked tree halfway down the cliff. That barely stopped me from falling further, but before I could even catch my breath, a crisp cracking sound came from above. The branch the vine was wrapped around, actually, broke under the weight of the two of us. I was so frustrated I wanted to cry but had no tears. How could I be this unlucky? I already died once, and now I'm gonna die again. Along with the sound of the branch breaking, Seeking and I kept falling down. Right at that moment, a strong gust of wind came from far away. It was Yechen. He flew over from a distance and hugged me tightly. With a loud splash, we fell straight into the underground river, sending a huge spray of water everywhere. The water in the underground river was ice cold. I felt a sharp ringing in my head, and then I lost consciousness, passing out completely. I don't know how long I was out for. I felt like I was being moved, and then gently placed on the ground. The next morning, half asleep, I felt something is rubbing my face. I felt uncomfortable and waved my hand, but that wet feeling on my face didn't go away at all. It instead rubbed from my cheek all the way to my neck. I finally woke up a little from all the fuss. I opened my eyes in a daze. The first thing I saw was a patch of lush green grass and a giant fluffy creature. That was Ye Chen's beast form. I got a huge fright. I was completely wide awake in an instant. "Ye Chen, what are you doing here?" When Ye Chen saw I was awake, he shifted into his human form. The usual disgusted look returned to his face. "I was just passing by and saw you trying to jump off a cliff. If you want to die, go further away next time." My mouth twitched hard. I clearly saw worry in his eyes just now. I was actually pretty touched a second ago. Now all that touched feeling is totally gone. This guy is so bad at talking. This bastard is so freaking bad at talking. He's as stubborn as a stone. Right at this moment, a system notification rang in my head. Congratulations, host. Ye Chen's favorability towards you has increased by 20 points. Keep up the good work, host. I didn't even do anything, did I? I just fell off a cliff, that's all. And got saved by him once. This bastard's favorability actually went up again. I glanced at Ye Chen. He was already standing up. And looking around warily, he was obviously checking out the surrounding area. The environment here is really beautiful. Lush green grass covers the ground. The air is filled with the scent of flowers. There's also gurgling water in the distance. It's like a forgotten paradise on Earth. If you ignore how messy Ye Chen and I look right now, this is actually a really nice honeymoon spot. I stretched my limbs a little. Aside from a little soreness, I didn't have any serious injuries. There were just some obvious scratch marks on my wrist. Seeking dug them into my skin yesterday before she fell off the cliff. I didn't feel any pain at first. Now that I've calmed down a little, I can feel a sharp stinging pain. Thinking of Seeking. A cold look couldn't help but appear in my eyes. That vicious woman. I wonder if she fell to her death. I turned to look at Ye Chen. I saw the wings on his back were also injured and bleeding. I secretly activated my healing ability. A green vine grew out of my palm, glowing with a soft green light. It gently brushed over the wound on his wing. When Ye Chen turned around, he caught me using my ability to heal his wound. A flash of approval crossed Ye Chen's silver eyes. But what came out of his mouth was still annoying as hell. I didn't expect that. You're not stupid enough to not even know how to heal wounds. I rolled my eyes and didn't bother arguing with him. Would it kill him to give a compliment? He's as stubborn as a rock. Ye Chen moved his wings a little. A faint smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. That smile was very faint and gone in a flash. If I hadn't been watching him closely, I would have almost missed it. He glanced at me. His tone still sounded a little impatient, but less cold than usual. What are you staring at? Do you want to stay here until dark? I'll take you back. As soon as he finished speaking, a flash of light surrounded him. He shifted back into that giant, fluffy eagle. His grayish-brown feathers were glowing softly in the sunlight. His sharp eagle claws landed steadily on the ground. He signaled for me to climb onto his back. I looked at his broad back. I complained silently in my head, but didn't dare to waste any time. I climbed up carefully. I grabbed the feathers on his neck tightly with both hands, scared I'd fall off if I lost my balance. Fly slower. I'm afraid of heights, I whispered quietly. My tone carried a faint trace of fear that was hard to notice. Ye Chen didn't respond, but gently rubbed my arm with his wing, as if to comfort me. The next second, he flapped his wings hard and took off, and carried me straight up into the sky. The wind whistled past my ears. I closed my eyes instinctively and pressed myself tightly against his back. I could clearly feel his warm body temperature and steady heartbeat. I strangely felt a little more secure in my heart. The flight didn't take too long. About half an hour. I felt Ye Chen slow down. The wind by my ears also gradually softened. I slowly opened my eyes and saw the familiar outline of the tribe. Lots of orcs were gathered at the tribe entrance. They seemed to be waiting anxiously for something. Ye Chen landed steadily at the tribe entrance. I quickly slid off his back. Xingmo ran over from far away. You idiot. Why did you recklessly get close to the cliff yesterday? Do you have any idea how worried we were? His gaze swept over the scratch on my wrist. He frowned even more tightly. He reached out to touch it, but was afraid of hurting me. In the end, he just added in a stiff tone. Why didn't you treat your wound? You're so dumb. Lin Jin stood beside him. He didn't say anything. He just walked forward silently, took a jar of herbal ointment out of his bosom, and handed it to me. Feng He leaned against the nearby tree trunk. There was a rare flicker of emotion on his cold face. His gaze fell on me. After confirming I was okay, he still didn't leave. Yue-tsu walked over and gently held my wrist. Luckily, the wound isn't deep. My 5 beast husbands surrounded me. Some acted tough but cared for me. Some guarded me silently. I looked at them and felt all warm inside. I couldn't help curving my lips slightly, even though all 5 beast husbands are total tsunderes. But when it comes to critical moments, they are actually really reliable. Right at this moment, a system voice suddenly rang in my head. breaking the warm atmosphere in front of me. Host, Siqing's vital signs are stable. She's not dead. She is currently in a coma. The smile on my face froze instantly. My pupils shrank sharply. That vicious woman. She fell off the cliff and still survived. Sigh. My journey to lose weight and become beautiful, and my journey to win over my beast husbands, is really going to be a long and hard one.